Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for those of you, regardless of where you are and what time zone you are in. We welcome you and thankful that you are here. I'm here in Houston, Texas. Anna, where are you located?
I am in Ireland, Limerick.
Woohoo! So look, we are representing the world, right? Two separate sides of the world. So let us know in the comments below where you are tuning in from, whether you're team live or team replay. Remember, if you're team replay, use the hashtag team replay so that we can come back and have conversation with you. And thank you for having been here. For those of you that are out there, be sure to let us know where you're located, and we'd love to hear from you as we have this amazing conversation. So let's get started. Look, the reality is Caff-AI Chats, I'm in episode 26 now. I have really focused on bringing in AI experts week after week after week. But this week I wanted to take a non-traditional route, but one that I thought was super important and could be or will be valuable to everyone out there, because the majority of us are not AI experts. We are simply consumers of AI. And with so much noise and chaos, meaning there are so many new technologies being introduced into our world now, how do we navigate that effectively? What do we leverage? What can we leverage? What's the process to determining whether, what if we should be leveraging? What are some of the steps to us? And as an FYI, hold on, let me see why that's not working.
Yeah, I think it's just frozen there. Denise, can you hear me? Oh, you're back.
Hello?
Technology for you, right? Hello, can you hear me? And Denise will be back shortly. Well, while Denise is coming back to our show, our chat, just want to say that absolutely agree with Denise about AI and how we implement it into our everyday life, personally, professionally. So as Denise was mentioning there, that it's not about being an expert in all the AI tools. And we know that there's so many AI tools every day introduced to us. So just while Denise is coming back, I want to share how I've started. Definitely not an expert, but I had to leverage AI to some way to save some time, because for me it's important to spend time on something that I really like doing, some of my hobbies. And we all know that being an entrepreneur and having your own business, it takes a lot of time. It's not a 9-to-5 job, as some of us think when they're going into entrepreneurship. But it's something that I was thinking for the last number of years, how can I actually leverage time? And here we are, AI world, AI era. And just to note that even so, I'm not an expert, but I am learning and learning fast. And just to say that there's so many new AI tools coming every day, but do we actually need all of them? Or we need to learn one or two tools and make sure that we know it well, we know how they work, and also are we cautious enough? Do we understand the implications of, for example, data protection? Or how well do you know how that tool works? And can you actually connect with other experts in that area and get the right advice? So through this chat with Denise, hopefully she'll be back soon. And we want to explore some of the areas in our new AI world, how Denise does things in her business and how I do it. And maybe I start with ChatGPT. We all know that, we all hear, and I'm sure that everybody has some sort of use of ChatGPT in some area in their lives. So my commitment, actually, starting from next week, that I will be using some of the AI tools to maybe save time on my LinkedIn posts, which I am a little bit behind this last couple of weeks, as Denise took time off in July, and so did I. Denise, I am just going with it, right?
I love that you're doing that.
Yeah, so basically I was just sharing that it's not necessarily you're an expert in AI tools, but we all have some sort of understanding where we're going with all this new AI era, right? And for my own personal and professional use, I do use ChatGPT. I'm learning about it every day. And basically, through using some of the tools, I would like to think that I'm saving time. And I was just saying to your audience that my commitment from next week on, I will be putting more effort into my LinkedIn posts, which I will create in advance, and hopefully I will save some time, and they all will be planned and go in a particular day, a particular time, and I will be just concentrating on building my relationship with people, which is back to your mantra, I guess, at this stage, right? That AI is great, but human behind the AI is very, very important. So I'm going to try to do that. And hopefully very soon I will share my experience and see how I progress that. Over to you, Denise.
Well, I have no idea what I missed. I actually thought that we were completely offline. So I'm so glad you were able to carry this on. So I don't even know where to pick up from here, except to say that I'm super excited you're here and that everyone stayed on and that you took and ran with it. This is the beauty of living in the moment, right? Being present, living in the moment, navigating our micro moments. Let's see, what else can I reference in regards to all the things that we've learned together over the 2 years? And, you know, the fact that you just picked up and continued on without me. So I'm so excited that you joined me.
Flow, the word flow, Denise, we were talking about, right? When you're in the flow, do not stop, carry on. So
I love that. So thank you to Sia. In the moment when I got knocked off, whatever happened, I was trying to acknowledge that Sia was out there, who is amazing, by the way. If you don't know Sia, make sure you go see Sia, go see her. I know she probably has heard that more than, well, probably way too many times. So Sia, love you. So she is amazing with social media. But, you know, the purpose of today, and again, I don't know if I'm going to repeat anything that you said, Anna, but the purpose of today was really to talk about, you know, we have a lot of amazing AI experts, and I've been able to share a lot of them on here, have amazing conversation. But it's one thing to listen to these AI experts and learn from them, but it's another for us as consumers to actually experience those AI solutions, right? Mm-hmm. You are one of those examples of those individuals who are really trying to figure out how best to leverage these tools. Mm-hmm. So that you can gain more time back and focus on the areas where you are better at, or maybe you are want to expand on yourself that maybe a machine or an AI solution can't. So maybe let's dive in a little bit about, and did you already start talking about this?
I was just saying that let's start with ChatGPT, right? Because everybody knows about it, and it's a lot of noise around that. But when I started with ChatGPT, for first few months, I wasn't a paid member. I was just trying to learn and see what it's all about. Yeah, very cautious, I have to say. And there were a lot of questions, still a lot of questions. But what I was just saying to your listeners, that if we go in, there are so many tools coming at us every single day, right? Do we need to know all? Or we concentrate on something, learning really well to know where to be cautious, what we need to pay attention to, and then maybe to go one or two experts who are really, really good at it and get the answers to the questions that we have. So that's where I was. And I was just saying that probably the mission that I have through the work that I do and the experiences that I would like to share, and I know, Denise, you are the same, that we want to encourage people not to be afraid of that, but learn and use it with caution to start with, and then share your experiences, and we can move forward together by only sharing what works, what doesn't, and how to prepare yourself, because AI is here to stay. I'm pretty sure of that. Like many years ago, internet was. Do you remember the stories?
Yes.
Internet, emails. So I think history is just repeating in a different way and a fast way. So
Yeah, I mean, look, the reality is we're in this digital revolution, if maybe a better way to describe it. We went through the Industrial Revolution, right? All of these different revolutions. It's here to stay. There's no arguing that. Now we got to figure out how to adapt. It's interesting when you reference ChatGPT, Anna, because most people, when they think about AI, they think about they think of in terms of AI as ChatGPT and chat GPT-ish like solutions. But the reality is it is so much greater and larger. There are so many technologies out there today that are AI technologies that we are just, not privy to, or that we are just not aware of, even if we might be privy to them. But so let's move on. And, I guess chat GPT is probably 2 years old now, I think, when it launched into the world.
If we look back our Calendly, some of the things that are automated behind the scenes, right? It's basically AI driven, but it wasn't as we know AI today, right? To some extent, a lot of people, or maybe all, already been using that, right? But now it's just another way of, and more open way, and we can talk about it.
So I love Anna. So I know she's not actually, she will not take offense to this, but in actuality, automation, automation solutions are not AI. They are under maybe the AI umbrella. They are completely different solutions. However, we do today really couple automation and AI together. We interchange those words, to describe them. There are true automation solutions. There are true machine learning solutions, and then there are true AI solutions. But they all fall under the AI umbrella. So I'd say, we've been using automation for a long time. But did you know, Anna? So that's the distinction between automation and AI. But did you know that one of the first instances of AI recorded was way back in 1956?
Never knew. My God, now I learned 2 things today. Great.
Yes.
Share it, please.
Yeah, I don't actually remember all of it, but what I will say is it was in 1956-ish. So hold on, sorry. It was like 1956-ish, and it was IBM, MIT, and someone else. They were a partner of 3 that came together, and they developed the first AI solution.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So it's actually been around. I mean, I've been in the machine learning AI automation space for probably 15 years, or was for about 15 years before I went out on my own. And the so it was automation, machine learning, and AI, really. If you think about stepping ladders, right? Or stepping stones, you start out with automation, then you start leveraging machine learning capabilities, and then it's AI, right? So I've sold all of those types of solutions, and actually an AI platform solutions. I've done it all. And I think what I love about AI really is that whether it's any one of those 3, it's that it can make our life so much easier. So let's talk about some of the things that, extending beyond ChatGPT, what are some of the solutions or some of the requirements? Because this is what I think is the problem with us adopting AI. There are many of us who go out and are super excited to just try a tool and figure out how to fit it into our daily routine. But the reality is, what we should be doing is looking at what our requirements are. What are we looking to accomplish? Does an AI solution help us with that? Without replacing us? Is it a way to help us become more efficient? So maybe talk about some of your thought process, because you are very process driven, should I say? You really think about, I mean, you're a decision making fool, right? I mean, that is where your expertise is.
Very true.
Yes, when you make a decision, you go through every different aspect. So maybe talk to us about how you decide. What are some of the things that you look at when looking at whether or not you should use an AI solution?
Well, one of them, again, if I go back to, say, LinkedIn, right? Let's talk about that. Again, I am not an expert on LinkedIn, but I am trying, I'm watching, and I'm learning. And by the way, one of them is you. So definitely an inspiration there, right? But speaking of AI and how I make my decisions, as I mentioned, ChatGPT, it was literally discovery and exploring space for me. But from that, recently, an hour show actually with Thomas, we've talked about Canva, right? Which maybe one of very few. I didn't use it that much, but I was using some other tools on my mobile phone creating images. If we're talking about decision making and how I go about things, right? So I will look first how I like to do things. So what actually, where is my creative mode starts? How I go about, say, LinkedIn posts. A lot of people probably create the content, think about something, and then they come up with an image. For me, for some reason, it works the other way around, right? So, and I thought, how can I actually leverage AI in creating my images that represent what I want to talk about or inspire me to do so? Now, we all, again, back to ChatGPT does some of the things, but I explore things on Canva and looked what are the solutions within Canva application that AI driven, and how can, again, I can spend less time on that, but yet I will have a plan. How can I create a couple of events or couple of LinkedIn posts that are on the same theme, right? And I found that by using AI technology that already in Canva, you don't have to go too far. So I'm learning those, but what I found that I'm definitely saving a lot of time, Denise, and you can actually schedule everything from there on back to LinkedIn, which I wasn't aware of. And maybe some of the people, very proficient in this, but for somebody who is only starting learning and learning fast, I'm discovering little things on a previously used applications that now with AI, you definitely more proficient and more productive. So that's one of the examples, I guess, so.
I love that. I actually am one of those weirdos who does not leverage AI as much as I could, because I really look at what part of it do I want to be authentic to me, right? And so even as crazy as Calendly, for example, I will most certainly, if it's easier, I'll send out a Calendly link. I also have a Calendly link in my LinkedIn out of office, or the LinkedIn, the DM response, right? When someone messages me, I most certainly have a link to my Calendly there, but I choose to rather engage one-on-one first and try the old way, right? Because that means you're engaging in conversation rather than just now. I understand that people are busy. They don't all want to adopt a strategy like I do. So I most certainly make it available. But if they want to go back and forth, I'd actually prefer that because that gives the human element. When you talk about things like Canva, for example, that I should do a better job at leveraging, because that doesn't mean that it's not my authentic self coming through. It's just that I'm giving it the ideas and it can generate it for me. But I've gotten pretty good at Canva, so that's not really a good example because I'm pretty daggum good there. I think where I find it to be much more helpful is when I am trying to really look at ways to improve my productivity. Because look, we are entrepreneurs who own small businesses and we have to wear many hats.
Yes.
So maybe talk to me about a tool that you think that you've been looking at, or an area within your business that you've been trying to find a solution that might help you.
Well, I'm going to say I'm going back to ChatGPT, but there is an area where you can explore other applications within ChatGPT. And to save time, some of them could be a PowerPoint presentation, right? And to save time, even to see how it looks like, instead of creating each slide, which the content is created before you go to AI tool. Again, back to what you said earlier, Denise, I would be probably very much old school also. I would like to explore the idea and have as much Anna's input into this. Obviously, I will recheck, and sometimes I use for research purposes. It saves a lot of time. The same with Google. If you go to Gemini, right, it really saves you a lot of time. But again, it's down to me to pick the right content that represents me and the way I do things. So within one application, especially now that I moved from a proper paid member, which makes a big difference. But my message to people that check it first, get a feel for it, and see if that application is right for you before you actually go and start paying for it. Because there's so many, and they're all very attractive, between $10, $15, $20 a month. But if you add few of them, that becomes an expense, and it's a big expense. So I try to use that, and it saves a lot of time. And back to research part of things, so anything I teach, or even in decision making, right? Recently, actually, this is another big one. Sorry, I forgot to mention this. Now, if I say I love reading books, I used to love reading books, right? And to say,
who has time anymore these days, right?
Saying, okay, look, books and all behind me because I love it and my daughter loves it. It's something in our family, right, about books. But we all complain, I don't have time to read a book. And what I start using recently, which you will see in my post coming soon, I use a summarizer, right? So before I buy a book now and see what is it all about, I actually leverage AI to give me the insight of the book. And then I can choose, do I want it? Do I need it? Does it really match to the content that I want to explore or give to people that I work with reference to that book? So, and I found it was very, very useful for me. One of them called Summarizer. So here we are, right? From Canva to Summarizer. And then, yeah, if I like it, I buy it. And I still would like to read it myself, have little notes. And I can actually show one of them here, right? The way I read books, why I look at all my little, so that's, and all the highlights. So that's what I do. But now I save a lot of time on my research before I make that final decision. So over to you.
I love that. One of the things that I hope that people take out of this session today really is that it's easy to get caught up in the crazy new technologies that are out there and to want to just go out and play with, pay for, adopt all of these technologies. But what it is really important to do is, instead of taking that route, to really look at what are some of the tasks that you have to get accomplished? What are some of the requirements for those tasks to be accomplished? Should you do them yourself, or can you hand them off to an AI or technology solution? Or is it an area where you can, maybe you could do it, but you really could use your time more effectively somewhere else? Or you really suck at that part of the business and you really need some help. So yes, in that instance, you should leverage it, right? So so you can go through a decision criteria, because you are the queen of decision making, right? Does it fall into maybe one of those three buckets? And when it does, then think of the requirements that you really need to fulfill and look for a solution that fulfills those requirements, right? And test it out.
Can I just say, because when you can't have business without sales, right? And sorry, but I'm going to bring you back into this, because I am so looking forward to know more the AI technologies that you use or you implement when it comes to sales process, because I am not great at that, right? And I'd say a lot of business owners would say the same. They don't like sales, because I like the human element more. I like that personal connection and relationship first, and word of mouth referrals, right? Which is very different. But I'm really looking forward to learn more from you, how you can leverage AI, and exactly what you said there earlier, things that you're not really good at, how you can use some of the new technologies to save time, to learn more, and basically be more productive and profitable. So
yeah, and I always say that there are 4 key areas within the sales process you should leverage AI. And look, this is not the Cellivators program, which is where we talk all things AI. But I think it's super important to acknowledge that this goes along the same conversation track a second ago where you tend to have organizations who adopt all of these solutions. So they adopt all of these solutions. They don't actually, they adopt the solution don't for a requirement, and then don't really realize that it can do all these other things. So they'll have multiple tools because now they've adopted multiple solutions for multiple requirements. And so they probably overlap. And then when they bring them on board, they don't do a really good job of teaching their sales teams how to leverage them. So there are, if you want to get back down to reduce to simplification, right? You want to simplify, or you're a new organization trying to figure out where to start. There are 4 key areas where you should leverage AI in the beginning. And that is in lead and in client nurturing, in forecasting, and in customer insights. Those are the 4 key areas. I am going to talk a bit more about that in the upcoming month. I've got a lot happening soon, a lot coming up on the calendar where I'll be sharing a little bit more about some of the tools you can leverage. There's an amazing individual. If you don't follow him, his name is Andrew Bolus. He looks at all things AI, not just in marketing, that's his area of expertise, but in sales and business process. Amazing individual. So if you want to know about specific tools, he's probably already looked at them. So go follow him. And then the other person that I think is amazing, who is now one of my sponsors. So look for his logo and more formal announcement around that. But Corey Warfield has one of the fastest growing AI newsletters. I think in the first week here on LinkedIn, he had 100,000 subscribers. Amazing, right? And so he will look at various different tools, not sales related, but just AI in general. And he shares a wealth of information in his newsletter. But then you, Anna, have also been exploring ways that you can share with the world some of the amazing technologies. You and Thomas have put together a podcast.
I'm looking forward to your expertise now on that one. What, this week, by the way?
Yes, tomorrow.
Yeah. Janice, can I come back to something that you just mentioned after you said about 4 steps or 4
key areas,
4 areas in sales, right? But you said something else, which probably today's talk is all about. You need to train your team. And our message will be to the same entrepreneurs as we are, who just starting up or in business for a long time and now thinking of using AI. Educate yourself. Start with 1 or 2 tools. Watch podcasts. There is so much information available, right? There's no excuses not to learn about this. It's not necessarily that you have to implement everything straight away, but to be knowledgeable in this area that you actually can make the right decisions, right? And back to the team. If it's a big organization, crazy budgets are spent on implementing and buying all of that. But if you don't have the human behind that technology who actually know how to manage and maintain, because maintenance, I think, is the big thing, then it defeats the purpose of having so much in technology, but you have no people to back it up. So that's what I'm taking from today, and we'll be learning more, Janice.
Awesome. So stay tuned tomorrow for Anna's live with Thomas Crotty, which I get to participate in. So I'm super excited about that. It is, maybe tell us what time tomorrow.
It's tomorrow at 4 p.m. Irish UK time. And yeah,
which is 10 a.m. my time, Central Houston, Texas Central time. So 8 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Irish time. Did I get that right? 10, 11, 12,
I
1,
think
2,
you did. So I heard Irish time. You definitely did get that one right.
Okay, awesome. All right, good. So make sure to come watch that. The takeaway today, it's easy for us to sit here and talk about some of the things we've accomplished or some of the things that we've been challenged with, some of the insights that we may have. But what are really the practical tips that those of you who are paying attention, whether you're team live or team replay, that you can walk away with. And I would say, I'll kick us off with that. And then Anna, you maybe expand on that. But I think the practical tips are this: if you're looking for ways to increase your efficiency, if you're looking for ways to maybe augment what you're doing, if you are not good in an area that you really need some help with and can't and really want to see what solutions there are out there, I would say first understand what you're trying to accomplish. Mm-hmm. Then once you do that, figure out the requirements to accomplish that goal so that you are successful in whatever it is. So for me, one of the things that I can do a much better job at is really transcribing all of my videos. I don't really have the time to do that. I need to find an AI solution that can transcribe them for me. So I'm going to look for the solution. So my requirements are, I want it to be transcribed as accurately as possible. I want to be able to take that and be able to splice it and dice it. And so I'm going to look for a solution that's going to meet those requirements and do it at a fairly quick pace for me. So when I put it in, that it sends it back out. So accuracy is going to be important. So accuracy, time, commitment, the amount of time that it's going to take to learn how to use that solution. Those are all really key requirements for me. So then I'm going to go out and look for the solution that fits that. So really, when you think about implementing a strategy or a solution, think about the overall strategy, what you're trying to accomplish, what the requirements are to accomplish, and then go out and look for the solution. So Anna, what would you add to that?
Well, add to that, right? To find a solution, to make a decision on a particular tool, it's all great. But what about the implementation and accountability?
Yes.
And I would suggest that after, when you have made you have done your research and follow the step that just Denise was talking about, then find an accountability partner, right? It's only by sharing one particular tool with another person, like two heads are much better than one. So, and through those conversations, you actually will learn more. And whatever you've learned on your own, by sharing, you definitely know that now. So get accountability partner after you've done your research and made a decision, and implement it. After you have implemented, monitor your progress. And if it is working for you, maybe it's time to go another level up. But if it's not, don't be afraid to change it, right? But give it a time and try it out. And definitely action is the word here, right? It's no point learning about it. You need to action it straight away. So
I love that. I do want to acknowledge, it does say LinkedIn user on here, but I might butcher your name, Georgie, but I want to thank thee. Ich danke dir, dass du da bist in den Audience, und freue mich, dass du vielleicht zum nächsten Caff-AI Chat kommst. Yeah, so thought I'd just, because he's in Germany, is hersteller.de, so I'm guessing that he's in Germany. But I want to welcome him to the show. Thank you for being here. For those of you that don't know, we're going to start to close this session out. For those of you that don't know, I have been off. This is like episode, 26, I think. I have been off for the last month or so. I took all of July as it relates to Caff-AI Chats. I took all of July off. I spent a lot of time with my family. I am coming back this month strong. I have in the past, it has all been about, and will continue to be, AI experts. This is an opportunity. I talk about sales, AI, and humanity, how to align them all together. For my sales, it is my Celevators program on Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Caff-AI Chats. I don't know why I'm struggling this morning, Anna, is all about AI, where we bring in AI experts. This week, however, as we kicked back off and I actually am going to call this season 2 now. So as we kick off season 2, I wanted to bring on Anna to talk about how we as consumers are actually leveraging, because AI experts are great to listen to hear from, to learn about, to understand what they're doing, to learn about new technologies. So not just about them, but also new technologies, but it's another as us consumers to actually figure out ways to leverage them. So Anna, I'm super excited that you are here. On Fridays, FYI, I have my humanity arm of my shows. That one, I actually am not sure whether I'll do the Coffees with Denise this week or not, so stay tuned to that. But that's where we talk about all things humanity, and of which Anna has been a guest on, because I love Anna. So I'm super excited. If you have not seen her live, it is just launched, I think 2 weeks ago. So we're in episode 3 tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Time. I am going to be a guest on her show, so I'm super excited. Hers and Thomas Crotty. So go seek them out. Stay tuned. Ich danke euch, die wo da auf dem Video war, oder ich meine, das war hier auf dem Live, LinkedIn Live, Entschuldigung. Ich danke euch, dass ihr da wart. So thank you to all of those that were there. Man, I'm struggling with communicating today.
Well, you're coming back as season 2.
And the same with a little bit of still wet hair, and then we had technical issues. So for those of you that were out there who stayed with us during those technical issues, thank you. Anna, I want to pass it on over you to leave some lasting thoughts that you might have, and tell us where really to find you.
Well, probably the best one is on LinkedIn, right? And you have there my details. But no, just to say thank you, Denise, for having me on the show. Really, really excited to learn more, to know more, and read all the comments on the show. And basically, don't be afraid of AI. Go and try it out, get accountability partner, and just enjoy it. Enjoy the learning. So over to you, and thank you all very much.
Awesome. Thank you guys again. For those of you that were out there, if you're on Team Replay, let us know with the hashtag Team Replay so we can come back and engage in conversation with you. I'm super excited to share with you a bit more in next week's episode around the partnership with Corey Warfield and really his sponsorship here. So in the meantime, let me know if you're interested in joining me on the Caff-AI Chats as a guest. Otherwise, be sure to check out Anna's live tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, which is Houston, Texas time. And otherwise, I will go ahead and plan to be on my Coffees with Denise on Friday, even if I do it as a solo. I'll be there on Friday at 10 a.m. Central, which is Houston, Texas time as well. Again, thank you, everyone. Happy Hump Day. Have an amazing rest of your day and an awesome week. And I'm going to take us out with some music now. So give me just 1 second. And hold on, here we go. There we go. And now we're going